Hello, my name's Quentin Wilbanks, and welcome to my video blog, which is going to explain some historiographical issues with my dissertation topic, The American Woman, Republican Motherhood Journeys West. Now, a little bit about myself. Again, my name's Quentin Wilbanks, and I received my Bachelor of Arts in History with an emphasis in education from Grand Canyon University in 2020. In 2022, I earned my Master of Arts in History from Grand Canyon University, and then from there, I joined Liberty University's PhD program in history. This paper that is entitled The American Woman, Republican Motherhood Journeys West is going to involve research that centers around a historical question. How did the principles of Republican motherhood and the challenging conditions of frontier life combine to shape a unique American woman's identity among female pioneers? And in what ways did this new identity influence the progressive policies regarding women's rights in Western territories and states? This question is significant because it offers a better understanding of how the American female identity evolved during a transformative period in U.S. history. By examining the interplay between Republican motherhood and the frontier experience, we can gain insights into how women's roles and their self-perceptions were reshaped, leading to this greater independence and agency, which was clearly seen in the Western states and territories after the closing of the frontier in 1890. We can gain insights through this analysis which will enhance our comprehension of the American identity itself, but also some challenging traditional narratives that have often marginalized women's contributions. It highlights the significance of women in developing the American society and creating social and legal reforms. And it underscores the importance of women's roles in history that provides a foundation for exploring how gender and regional experiences intersected to shape societal changes. The research will explain how female pioneers shaped a distinct American women's identity by merging the ideals of Republican motherhood with the demands of frontier life. Pioneer women brought the ideals of Republican motherhood with them as they settled the wilderness of the western United States. This combination led to greater independence and influenced progressive policies of Western territories where women gained the right to vote, own land, and seek divorce first before anywhere else. Exploring these concepts uncovers first that Republican motherhood was uniquely an American adaptation of the European ideology of separate spheres, and it emerged during the American Revolutionary period first, emphasizing the role of women as guardians of Republican virtues for future generations. The concept helped shape a distinct American identity for women in that regard, much like Frederick Jackson Turner's frontier thesis described the formation of a new American identity through the frontier experience. So that leads us to the historiography. It's going to require two current fields of historiography to flesh out the research for this topic. The first, obviously, is Republican motherhood. The historiography for that will cover some very important primary sources, like Abigail Adams and Lydia Childs, Catherine Beecher Stowe, and of course Tocqueville's Democracy in America. These are going to be some very important primary sources to establish how Republican motherhood generated at the beginning of this new American woman's identity. And then, of course, we'll get into historiography of how these Republican mothers traveled west as pioneers and how that impacted them. We'll use some important scholars like Becky Yeager, some primary sources like Frederick Turner and his Significance of the Frontier, some examples from diaries and letters, including people you may be familiar with, like Laura Ingalls Wilder. From Little House on the Prairie. She was a real woman and had some real experiences with this and became an educator in the West, so that's relevant. We'll use some secondary sources from gender studies in the American West, like Patricia Nelson Limerick. Secondary sources like for Republican motherhood, like Linda Kerber, or Carol Birkin. And of course, finally, does the field of psychology agree with this idea of the topic of identity building? For that, we're going to use Bandura. He had some very interesting things on social learning theory and how that can help shape and build identities through the perspective of their environment, which is very much what this scholarship is about. And so finally, in closing, what is the future of this scholarship? What can this lead to? I think that this could lead to some very interesting gender studies continued on through other cultural perspectives from how these sort of ideas influenced other marginalized groups in the West. And of course, you could also study how Hollywood presented females in the West versus the reality of what we learned through this scholarship, how women were different in the portrayal through Hollywood versus, again, the reality. So there's a lot of different areas that could be explored, since this is going to be a relatively new field of study, combining two previous historiographies into a new direction, if you will. Again, thank you for hearing my video blog today, and I look forward to more video blogs in the future. Have a good day.